Good evening, students. Today we are going to learn about acceleration and retardation, the last part of the topic. Okay, so let us go with the word acceleration. You would have understood this word in your daily life, accelerator. Suppose you are moving in a bike and you are using an accelerator. So, as you are using the accelerator, what you are doing, you are increasing the speed, or you're moving on a smooth road, so you feel like increasing the speed. So what happens, the bike is moving or changing its velocity or increasing its velocity. Why I'm using the word velocity? Because the bike is moving in a particular direction, so instead of speed we can use velocity. So there is a change in velocity, or the velocity increases as you are giving the accelerator. Next, what you do, you are reducing the, sometimes you are reducing the speed also, or in terms you are reducing the velocity. So the vehicle is automatically deaccelerating. So accelerating and deaccelerating. So in the process, what exactly is happening? So there is a change in velocity. Even when you are accelerating, there is a change in velocity. When you are deaccelerating also, there is a change in velocity. So the very word of acceleration refers to rate of change of velocity. So acceleration means it is nothing but it refers to the word change of velocity, and it will give you the rate. That means at what time, how much time it takes for the velocity to change. So in general, acceleration is given as the definition. The definition is given as rate of change of velocity. When you talk about velocity, it is nothing but rate of change of displacement. So see the difference. Okay. So let us understand with few examples. Generally, bodies do not move with uniform velocities. You should understand this. Usually when a body is moving, in very extreme case or a very rare case, the body may move with a uniform velocity. Usually, generally, the bodies do not move with uniform velocity. Example, a car is moving on a busy road. Certainly, the velocity changes. The car is moving, then it stops, it slows down, then it increases the speed. So, what is keeping on changing? The velocity keeps on changing. Okay. So, sometimes it is accelerating, sometimes it is retarding. See, children, you can use the word retardation also. Sorry, I forgot to mention it. Either you can say deacceleration or you call it as retardation. Okay. Now, once again, I am giving an example. See, here a body is moving, a satellite is moving around a planet, or motion of a planet or satellite in a circular path. Let us understand it is moving in a circular path. See, you can very well say, as per your previous knowledge, you know that the velocity changes at every instant. Okay. So, the body is moving with absolutely with a variable velocity, but since it is moving, the velocity keeps on changing in a uniform manner. It is said to be in uniform acceleration. We are going to see that in detail later. Okay. So, these are all the examples which I am giving, that bodies do not move with uniform velocities in general. For that, I am giving some examples. Next, a free falling body. You know very clearly, when a body is falling freely, the speed or the velocity increases as it is nearing the ground. Okay. So, the velocity changes. This is again an example of variable velocity and non-uniform speed. Okay. So, let us get some more information. So, if the velocity increases with time, then it is called as positive acceleration. If the velocity decreases with time, then you call it as negative acceleration or retardation. Easy. Now, there is one more case which I am going to tell in detail with some examples later in this part of the video. If the velocity does not change with time, or if the body is at rest, then the body is said to be at zero acceleration. So, this is something very interesting which I am going to give later. I am just giving some points. Now, initially I am giving some superficial points. Okay. So, now let us proceed. Let us come to uniform acceleration. So, what do you mean by uniform acceleration? Just now I told. If there is equal changes in velocity in equal intervals of time. See how nice it is. The statement is you are familiar with uniform velocity and uniform speed also. If it covers equal distances in equal intervals of time, then the body is said to be with uniform speed. If like that, you would have learned. Same way for acceleration, how will you say? If there is equal changes in velocity. So the word acceleration is always related with the concept of changing in velocity. So if the change in velocity is equal, and if it is in equal intervals of time, then it is said to be uniform acceleration. Okay, so example, I am giving a bullet fired from the gun. See children, I am always fascinated with this example. I don't know why, but I feel it is a very apt example whenever I want to explain this concept. So once again, I am repeating, a bullet fired from the gun. I give as example for uniform acceleration. Now, let us come to variable acceleration. So what is variable acceleration? If the change in velocity is not same in the same intervals of time, then it is said to be variable acceleration. So let us have some examples. Now uniform acceleration, again I classified uniform positive acceleration, uniform negative acceleration. Or if you are not comfortable with negative acceleration, use the word retardation. Okay, or uniform positive acceleration or uniform acceleration, uniform retardation, you can call it that way also. So uniform acceleration, what is that? The body falling freely under gravity is an example for uniform acceleration. Maybe it is having variable velocity, but the velocity changes in a very uniform manner. Therefore, it is said to be uniformly accelerated or positive uniform acceleration. Same way, when a body is thrown vertically upwards, so it is an example for uniform negative acceleration. Why? Because the speed decreases. When you throw a ball upwards, what happens? Automatically the speed decreases. Therefore, it is an example of uniform negative acceleration. And the speed decrease of speed also will be in a uniform pattern. Okay. Now, if I draw a diagram, if I draw a graph, this graph you are familiar, it's not a different one. So time I am taken in x-axis, velocity in y-axis. So in seconds, 0 second, 1 second, 2 second, 3 second, 10 meter per second, 20 meter per second, 30 meter per second. So for 1 second, the body has covered 10 meter, 2 seconds, 20 meter, 3 seconds, 30 meter. So if you draw a graph, you will get a straight line. So this is a graph which is representing uniform acceleration, and whether it is for both you can use. Okay, only the arrow marks will change. So this graph can be used both for uniform acceleration and uniform retardation also. Now let us come to variable acceleration. See, I have drawn a very funny figure here. Okay, a car is moving in a crowded market. See, a person who is selling something, a man who is standing, one more person who is totally angry with some politician, and one more person is standing in between. Okay, and the car is moving in between. So what happens? The velocity changes, but it is changing in a non-uniform manner. So this is an example for non-uniform manner. Therefore, it is an example for variable acceleration. Okay, so let me give some more examples. See children, as you learn the number of examples more, you will understand better. Okay, now I told you I want to explain about what is it, zero acceleration. I was telling I want to give some information about zero acceleration. Okay, what is the meaning of zero acceleration? So when a body is at rest, say I have drawn a graph here. When a body is at rest, and I have drawn time in x-axis, always time axis is called as x-axis, and velocity is in the y-axis. See, it is at rest, and there is no change in the velocity, and it is simply at rest. The car is at rest. It is waiting, or it is in the parking lot. So what happens? It keeps on waiting. It is at rest only. So what will happen? The time keeps on increasing, but the body is at rest. So in that case, you can say the body is undergoing a zero acceleration because there is no change in velocity. Now let us understand one more point. Or the velocity remains constant with time. So I have given two examples here. Below that I have drawn a graph. So velocity remains constant with time. Let us understand I have drawn two examples. Again, my diagrams are not that perfect. I'm sorry children, please bear with me. I have drawn a diagram of an aircraft and a rocket, launching of a rocket. So you know the aircraft is moving at a particular duration. Children, I'm not saying completely as soon as the aircraft is moving, it will not undergo zero acceleration. You can't say like that. See, because it has to move on the runway, then take off, then it goes at a particular duration. That's why I written here. See, check it up. Aircraft moving at a particular speed at a particular duration, particular time duration, it will be going smoothly. So, okay. So what is happening? The velocity keeps on increasing with time. So then that means it goes in a uniform speed or uniform velocity. it will be totally going with uniform velocity. So the aircraft is moving with zero. In this case, you can say it is undergoing a zero acceleration. Now let us see one more example. The launching of a rocket at a particular instant. I have already given here particular duration or a particular time instant. So at a particular time, once the rocket is launched, it moves through a distance. So the whole distance, it is considered to be at a zero acceleration because it is maintaining, or the velocity remains constant with the time. Now you see the graph, children. I have drawn the graph here so that you will understand better. Okay, I think the graphical representation will make you understand the concept better. So the time is taken in x-axis and velocity is taken in y-axis. Again, I have taken 0, 5 seconds, 10 seconds, 15 seconds, 20 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4 meter. Okay. Now, the body has started and it has gone to 4 meter. But what happens there? It is moving with the same speed, 4 meter per second with the same speed. So 5 seconds, 10 seconds, 15 seconds, 20 seconds. Till 20 seconds, the body is moving with the same velocity or 4 meter per second. In this case, you say at that particular instant, till 20 seconds, the body is undergoing zero acceleration because there is no change in the velocity. Now, I think you have understood the meaning of acceleration. So, whenever you say the body is accelerated or it is deaccelerated or retarded, there should be a change in velocity. Either the velocity should increase with time or the velocity should decrease with time. The best example is a body falling freely under gravity and a body which is thrown against gravity. Those are the two best examples for you to understand the meaning of acceleration. Okay, so I've explained zero acceleration. Children, maybe it is not in textbook, but sometimes they will ask you a question, differentiate between zero acceleration and uniform acceleration. So you have to understand clearly. Uniform acceleration says that the velocity changes uniformly with time. Okay, but zero acceleration, the velocity does not change, but the time keeps on going. That is the difference. That's why I gave this example of rocket launching and aircraft. Okay, now let us come to the formula. What's the formula? A is equal to, you know very clearly, this is a main formula. A is equal to V minus U by T. How this formula has arisen? Is it a magic that this formula has arisen? We are writing the formula based on the definition. So what is the definition of acceleration? Acceleration is defined as the rate of change of velocity. So what does it mean by change of velocity? So suppose a body is at rest. It is, I have given an example here. The body is at rest and it increases its velocity to 4 meter per second at 4 seconds. So what it is doing, initially it was at rest. Its velocity is 0, but it has moved through a velocity of at a particular direction with a velocity of 4 meter per second. So what you can find the change of velocity. So what is the change of velocity? What will you do? 4 minus 0. Is it not? 4 minus 0, 4. You will write it as 4. Same way, I have put it in the formula now. Rate of change of velocity. So change of velocity is nothing but final velocity minus initial velocity. Already, this is a very common concept. Suppose you say that a man is standing still. Then he moves through to a distance of 4 meter. Now I am asking you, how much distance he has covered? How will you say he has covered 4 meter? How did you say 4 minus 0 is equal to 4? Same way here also, the change in velocity is final velocity. I have not written in wordings. I have written directly the formula. So please understand. So final velocity minus initial velocity by time taken, because the formula, the definition is having the word rate. Now let us find out. We only find out. Okay. So it is at rest. So U will be 0. Final velocity, how much he has moved? 4. So 4 minus 0 for how many seconds? 4 seconds. So 4 minus 0 by 4 will be 4 by 4 is equal to 1 meter per second square. Now you will have a doubt. Ma'am, how ma'am? For speed, you told the unit is meter per second. For velocity, it is meter per second. But for acceleration, you are saying it is meter per second square. How is it? Now check it up, children. For the velocity, change in velocity, what is the unit? Meter per second. For time, it is second. So meter per second, see here, meter per second divided by second. Okay, so if you multiply, if you take this if you do the calculation here, you will get it as meter per second square. So instead of meter by second square, I have written as meter per second square. Okay, so let us recollect what is the SI unit of speed, meter per second, because the formula is S is equal to d by t, meter per second. What is the formula for, what is the unit of velocity? Meter per second. How? Because v is equal to displacement by time taken. What is the SI unit of acceleration? It is change in velocity by time taken. Therefore, it is meter per second square. Please be clear with this, then it will be easy. Now, let us come to the last part. Children, this is again very, very interesting. You have already learned. It's not a big deal. What you have learned, I'm going to have a recollect. Okay. Acceleration due to gravity. Very nice. You will understand. Suppose I ask this question in the class, you will be able to answer. Acceleration due to gravity. What does it mean? You know, always the earth is pulling the objects towards itself. So when a body is falling freely, what is happening? It is accelerated by the earth towards itself. Then therefore the definition is given clearly. When a body falls freely under gravity, the acceleration produced in the body due to gravitational attraction of earth is called acceleration due to gravity. So this is a simple diagram I have drawn. Please bear with me, children. Always I am taking this example. Free falling body, again a very interesting example. That's why I am selecting that. Now let us go with some more points. So if the body is falling freely, what will happen? The acceleration increase, is it not? So plus g, it becomes positive acceleration. So the value already you know, 9.8 meter per second square. Now I think you know the meaning of meter per second square. All this time in 8th standard or 7th standard, you are learning g as 9.8 meter per second square. Just like that you are mugged up. But now you know how this meter per second square has come. It has come from the formula. Okay. Now you see, now the body is thrown vertically upwards. What happens? G decreases. So in the numericals, when you are solving numericals, you have to substitute when it is going upwards, you have to substitute as minus 9.8 meter per second square. If it is falling down, G becomes plus 9.8 meter per second square. When it is thrown upwards, you have to take it as minus 9.8 meter per second square. Okay. So how it is increasing? Let me show with a simple example. Okay. It is very interesting. It's in your textbook, but I have drawn a diagram. So imagine a body is falling freely. Once first it is at rest, then it takes 1 second, 2 second, 3 second, 4 second, 5 second. Now you know the formula. A is equal to v minus u by t. Is it not? A is equal, see I have written here. A is equal to v minus u by t, or v is equal to u plus at. But in this case, since acceleration is due to gravity, you just slightly change the formula. V is equal to, instead of at, you write it as gt. V is equal to u plus gt. Okay children, let's come back. Now, the body is falling freely under gravity. That means what? Initially, it is at rest. So, u becomes, automatically u becomes 0. So, v is equal to 9.8. This whole term will go. Only will get it as v is equal to, this u will not be there. It becomes v is equal to gt. So, 9.8 into 1 is 9.8. Next, for 2 seconds, 19.6. 9.8 into 2. 3 seconds, 29.4. 4 seconds, 39.2. 5 seconds, 49. Okay, like that we can keep on calculating and see the beauty. See, how do you say that it is moving with what is it? The acceleration due to gravity is uniform. This is absolutely, the acceleration due to gravity is uniform only. How we can check mathematically? If you subtract 49 minus 39.2, you'll get 9.8. 39.2 minus 29.4, again you will get 9.8. Consequently, when you are subtracting one term over the other term, every time you will get the difference as 9.8 meter per second square. Okay. So this is the concept of acceleration due to gravity. Let us come to the last point, interesting point. Very interesting here. Okay, children. So let us understand the acceleration due to gravity. This you will learn in detail in gravitational law. Newton's law of gravitation we will learn, but still we will throw some informations here. That's it. So G means acceleration due to gravity. It does not depend on mass. It does not depend on mass of the body. It depends on the distance or height at which it is placed. So let me give an example. Okay, children. I am giving you two things in your hand. One small lime and a pumpkin. So the lime will not be 1 kg, but I am just taking as a consideration. Okay. So 1 kilogram and a pumpkin of weight 10 kilogram. So you are standing in the first floor in your house on the corridor, and you are just dropping both the substance, both the objects simultaneously. Not one after the other. Just you are dropping a lime and a pumpkin. So what is your experience? As a common man, or you are asking your friend to watch that, you will see that the pumpkin will reach the ground faster than the lime. Then you will tell, man, you have taught something wrong. So it is not wrong. I will come back to that. I just told you G does not depend on mass. But in this experiment, it is absolutely depending on mass. Okay, let me come back. Now, why it is happening? The same thing, same lime and pumpkin, you take to a vacuum space, drop pumpkin and lime from in a vacuum at a particular height. If you are going to drop it, both lime and pumpkin will fall at the same time. Exactly, it reaches the ground simultaneously. Why? It's a very, very important question. Yeah, in YouTube it is available. You can just watch. Some of the NASA scientists have done an experiment on the space where they took a nail, iron nail and a feather. Can you imagine nail and a iron nail and a feather, and they just dropped from a height. It was so surprising that both iron nail and the feather was reaching the ground simultaneously at the same time. So how interesting it is. It is in the YouTube. You just watch. Okay. So what is the concept behind that? Is Newton wrong? He is not wrong. He is absolutely right. Why? Because on the open air, what happens? There is upthrust. You have learnt upthrust clearly in 8th standard. So the upthrust is acting on the body. When you are dropping the pumpkin and the lime, the upthrust is acting on lime and the pumpkin, and there is air friction. So what it is happening? It is trying to make that pumpkin, the pumpkin is overcoming the upthrust because it is heavy. It is overcoming the upthrust and it is falling. But the lime is not able to overcome the upthrust. But in vacuum, you know very clearly, there is no air friction, no buoyancy, no upthrust. So automatically the things are falling down. So from this simple experiment, you will understand that G does not depend on mass. It only depends on the distance or the height it is placed. Now the last point of this topic. Okay. So let us consider this is Earth. You know very clearly it is in the geoid shape. So you should understand that gravity is maximum at the poles. This already you would have learned, but still once again I am reminding you. So the gravity is maximum at the poles. It is minimum at the equator. That is one point. Now let us come to the last point. So what happens? Just now I told according to Newton the statement G depends upon the distance or the height. So as the height, as the altitude is increasing, what happens to the gravity? Gravity decreases. So that is why see moon is at a very long distance or very far away from Earth. That is why what is happening? The gravity on moon is only 1/6 of that of the Earth. See, that is because of this point. Okay. So G decreases with altitude. Okay. At the same from the ground level if you are calculating, or it also decreases at the depth also. At the depth below the ocean or under the ocean, what happens? The gravity keeps on decreasing. See, both altitude and depth are included here. All these are extra points, but very important for the examination point of view. So it is all in your textbook, but I put a different example and explain to you. Okay, children, thank you so much. We have completed this topic successfully. Please watch the videos and let us have discussions later in the Google Meet. Okay, thank you. Have a nice day.